Hello there, everybody. This is Josh Perault with the Joe and Joe Movie Show with your second video review. Last week we covered Thor, which we released, which again, if you haven't seen the review, please go and see it. It was awesome. This week we're going to go over the movie Priest, which just released this weekend. Before we get into it, just let you know, Joe and Joe Movie Show, if you do not know about it, please go to www.facebook.com/Joe and Joe Movie Show. Otherwise, you can see our video reviews on YouTube, and you can also check out the awesome podcast, which is what the show is about, on iTunes. Any questions, please comment, send us any messages on Facebook, anything like that, and we'll be sure to answer them for you, along with any movie things you want us to talk about or cover or anything like that. So, away from the show and on to the movie. Priest. Pretty much a general synopsis of Priest is you have somebody who belonged to an order of assassins or warriors, you can say, that went against a whole bunch of vampires which were attacking. It was a pretty much all-out war between vampires and these and humans. They came up with the priest. The priest attacked the vampires. Priest won, and they got disbanded. And pretty much, the priest had nothing else to do, so they, tried to blend into society, but really couldn't. Apparently someone was killed by a vampire attack, and the church, who was the head of everything, like, if you look at this city, it's so church-oriented. It's like Catholicism blew up into a city, and this was the movie. It's like a steampunk Vatican. So one of the priests wanted to go out and investigate it because they knew who was killed. The church wouldn't let them, so he went rogue, went after the vampires, and the church sent people after him. So, in a sense, it's a rogue priest going after, trying to investigate what happened to someone he knows because of vampires. Plain and simple. People in the movie, Paul Bettany, he played the character of Priest. He was in Da Vinci Code. He was the really out there kind of follower who like whipped himself and stuff. He was also in that awesome movie Legion. You also have Carl Urban, who is one of my favorite actors, and he, especially in any movie that he's done, I have never, ever not liked him in anything. You have him in Star Trek. He was Bones. He was in the Bourne movies. He was in Red. He was in Lord of the Rings. He's anything he's in, he does a great job. And I'll get into that later on. He played the priest that I'll let you see the movie, but he has an interesting backstory. You also have Maggie Q, who's in the movie, who's from Nikita. She was a priestess who went after Priest. You also have Cam Gigandet. I can't pronounce his name, but pretty much you've seen him in Never Back Down. He was the main rival, kind of mean guy. Yeah. And then you also had like Christopher Plummer, who was in the movie. He was in there for a little tiny role. He was one of the Monsignors in the church who pretty much told Priest to go screw himself. That's about it. It's all that's really that necessary to, I guess, go over. So, for the characters, visually, I did watch it in 3D. I'm trying to see anything that comes out in 3D to see if it is worth it to see. The 3D technology was done well, but in comparison, like last week when I said Thor, it was done well, but you don't need it. It wasn't done that well. There was some times when you're watching it and it just didn't fit, it didn't flow. It looked fake at times. Because some of the 3D, don't get me wrong, it was really well done, but some of the 3D sequences just looked way too fake. So if you see it in 2D, I would recommend it. An overall idea of the movie, I was looking forward to the movie, along with a couple of my friends, my brother, some others as well, and when we went to go see it, just disappointed. The acting was horrendous, except for Carl Urban. He did a great job. Everything he did in the movie, like there's a part you see in the trailer that like the entire town's blowing up, and he's just there, like just conducting and bringing it all down, and it fantastic scene. It was really good. I never got into the graphic novel, so I can't compare it to anything. So my opinion of this movie is completely straightforward. Towards this movie, I can't put it to any basis. I'm not sure if reading the graphic novel would have helped me or not to enjoy it, but going in with a fresh mind of the series and just knowing vampires, Paul Bettany, Carl Urban, priests. That's it. What I did enjoy about the movie was how they set up how the church owns everything. They made Catholicism seem so restricting. They pretty much took Catholicism at its worst point in time and just condensed it into one city. They had like these confessionals that you can just walk up to, and it had like a digital link to like a confession. I don't even know how it would have worked necessarily, but you had confessionals you can just walk up to. Every single hour or whatever, they would chime a bell, and everyone turns around and does like a quick prayer thing. It made it seem like Catholicism was really creepy, and I enjoyed that. It made it seem like they had different motives going on. They really had other things in mind. They didn't want any confrontation with anything. They just pretty much segmented themselves off from everybody else, made their own city, and just keep the people controlled. I'll let you think about that one and comment on that if you'd like. I have my own comments on that as well. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But the movie as a whole, even though the message was really good, oh, before I get to the movie, the vampires. Vampires were very different. Instead of the normal human vampires were really, really, really rare. Instead, the humans in the movies were called familiars, which are people that are slaves to the vampires. The vampires themselves look like these beasts. They have no eyes. Their mouths are ridiculously sharp and pointy teeth. That was really cool how they implemented the vampires into the movie. But overall, for the movie itself, it really just let me down. I couldn't connect to anybody in the movie. There was really no chemistry going on at all. Some of the fights were so absolutely ridiculous that they were unbelievable, and you felt, as I mentioned in Thor, you need to feel connected to what's going on, and just completely disconnected you. It's like just pulled the plug on your attention span to the movie. Like there's some scenes that are just done so well, even though they're absolutely ridiculous. They seem believable because they do it well. Not this time. There's some that's just there's no way that can possibly happen, and you are reminded of that while you're watching it because it just looks that bad. So overall, it was probably worth a watch. Maybe. I do know a lot of people who did enjoy it as well. It's pretty much split right down the middle. There was no okay. It was either you liked it or you hated it. I was more towards the latter. But it's worth a watch, but I would probably recommend waiting till it comes out on disc. I'll just see it then. See it in 3D, I wouldn't waste your money for it. And that's my opinion on Priest. So if you like the review, if you didn't like the review, please post about it. Also post on the Facebook page as well. We are interested in your opinion. And feel free to listen to the podcast every week. That way you know what's coming out and know what you can see, know what you may want to save the money for. That's it from me. I'm Josh Perault with the Joe and Joe Movie Show. I'll catch you later.